Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so in the previous video, we're discussing a couple of potentials here. We still have that possibility this fifth wave could be completed here. Now, if this is the case, what we're looking for is, if we're looking for that bullish continuation to the upside here, what we'd actually want to see here is that this move becomes a wave one. We actually see a three-wave move back to the downside, looking to target out this 28,693 to this $26,084 level. Now, if we do start to see this breakdown in a bigger three-wave move here, we find support here holding this 24,800 level. What we could see is the potential for either a move up here as A, B, and C, where we see a move come up towards this 34,142 level, or alternatively, if we're looking for that bullish case where we're looking for a third wave to be developing, what we could actually see is price come up towards this 39,527. So if we are looking for the bullish case here, we need to hold these support zones. We need to see the continuation up here. Now, there is potential this is also still in play here, where we're still looking to form this fifth wave. Until we actually break this low point here of this 29,911, we can also argue that there could be some extension in here where we're starting to break to the upside. So we need to keep an eye out for that. There is also that potential that this could be 1, 2, and then we start to form a diagonal pattern here, something like this. Alternatively, even if we aren't completed this wave 2, we could see a move down here back towards this central channel line here, which is sitting towards this 30k region. And as long as we hold this low of this 29,528, we could still see that potential for that diagonal to play out. So we need to keep an eye on that. What I'm looking for here is the potential to come up a little bit higher here towards this 31,987 level, but we need to just be on the lookout because we can count this as a completed move here. Now, we are also talking about the potential that we had an extension within here, which we could actually be looking for an additional fourth and a fifth. And like I said, what I'm looking for here is the potential to come back down into this 236, which would actually align with coming into this channel. Now, there are some other confluence points within this zone. If I throw on the naked point of control, we can see here that we have a naked point of control on the daily at this 30,034 level. So this would align with coming back into this channel here, as well as this 236. If we do look to break down deeper here, and we actually have this move as A, B, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we could actually see is a push down lower here to this 382, which would be this 29k region. So this is what we need to be on the lookout for. We have potential here that we could actually start to form a third wave to the downside. We're going to go over that in a second. But really, for as long as we hold this higher level of this fourth wave here, well, we could actually just see price look to break to the upside directly. So if we did see something like this and a push down towards this 30k region, this would mean that we could actually see our target come in towards this level here of this 32,190 to this 32,872. So going to be keeping an eye on this level here. If we fail to hold this, then the next area of interest to me would be lower down here. Like I said, towards this previous structure here. So we have a daily negative point of control here at this 28,842. As well as that, we have the 0.382 of the whole move to the upside here, sitting in this region here of this 28,724 level. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on these two different zones if we do look to push down into this area. Now, as well as that, we were also talking about that really bullish case here where we could have something like this, because within the third wave, sometimes we might not see as steep a retracement. So if we're looking at this as a 1, 2, 1, 2 here, what we could actually be looking for is a flat correction. And what we would be looking for this flat would actually be potentially to come down in a 5-wave move here. So if we do see 5 waves here, where we get this as 1, 2, we get a third wave down, fourth, and a fifth. And we actually look to come back into this zone here of this 29,354. What we could actually see is the potential that this whole move could be a flat. And if this does extend out slightly here, once again, I'd still be looking out for that potential of coming here into this 28,841 to this 28,700 level, which would be looking for this little zone that we've got over here. So the key difference within this is that we would be not looking for such a deep retracement for the wave 2 here, because what we'd be looking for is effectively this 786 would be our cutoff point here, where we're looking at this level here, this 27,168 as a possible target. Now, this would align actually with coming back down into this zone here of this golden pocket, which is sitting here in between this area of this 27,178 and this 26,959. Now, the problem that I'd have with this is that if we do get a bigger corrective move here, it starts to become less likely that it's in play with this as a 1-2-1-2, and it's probably more likely that this is 1 2 3 4 5 into this high we've completed, and we're just getting a bigger corrective move down like that for a B wave or a wave 2. So this is looking at that super bullish case. If we do, however, hold this level here, we could start to progress to the upside. This 29,521, but it's not my primary count here. If we were looking for a direct breakout from where we currently are, what I'd be looking for is something along these lines where this becomes 1-2. We have another 1-2 here. And what I'd be looking for as a target range for confirmation here would be this 1618 at this 31,631. Then we'd want to see a fourth wave, and then we'd want to see a fifth wave to the upside here. This would be our target area here, 31,879 to this 31,726. Now, if we did get something like this, we'd be anticipating an additional fourth wave here. So this target, given the target of this third, would actually be here towards this 31,453 to this 31k, and then we'd be looking for this higher target here towards this 32,100 to this 32,000 level. So, you know, there is still a potential that we could see a move up here and looking to challenge some of these swing highs. So these blue lines here are swing highs on the left hand side here. We have this 31,765 and this 32,400 basically. I'll be keeping an eye on this if we do continue to maintain this. So invalidation of this direct breakout count would actually come by crossing this 30,408 level, and then complete invalidation would be actually crossing this level here of this 30,250. So if we do move down past that level, I would be looking once again towards this central channel line here and this naked point of control for some additional confluence as possibilities where we could see this come into. Now, what we need to be careful of here on the bigger picture is that if we do have this as a completed 5-wave move to the upside, what we could see is that this whole move could actually just be a W, an X, and a Y. If we see a 3-wave move down towards 26,205, or alternatively, this move could actually be a bigger flat correction. Now, if this is a bigger flat correction, what we'd be looking for would actually be these targets here, where we are looking for the potential that price could come back down into this 1-to-1 here, which would be a running flat at this 26,174, and then we have this expanding flat area here, which would be between this 25,000 and this 23,373 level. So gonna have to be keeping an eye on that. If we do see price start to break down in a bigger way here, where we start to form 1 2 3 4 5, get a 3-wave move back to the upside, which fails to take this high, what we could see is price could actually start to break down in a bigger 5-wave structure here, which would align with that idea of actually having this as a bigger corrective structure as an A, a B, and a C. Like I said, it could also develop as a 3-wave move, in which case we'd be looking for this 1-to-1 level primarily, because this would actually be looking to bring us back into this channel that we broke out of. So it's going to be an interesting zone to keep an eye on if we do see price break down into these levels. So if we are looking to actually push down into some of those lower levels, I just want to go over some targets here. What we could see is those naked points of control. So this is a little bit busy. I'm going to go through this. So there is this yellow box area here has a lot of confluence with some naked points of control. So the purple ones are the monthlies, the yellow as the weekly, and the red is the daily. So we can see that right here on the channel, we have a daily and a weekly that are sitting here just past this 0.618 and this 0.65. So this is our golden pocket up here. And then just below this, we do have some confluence points with some naked points of control. As well as that, lower down here, we have this 786, which is sitting towards this 26k. And then directly below that, we have this weekly one. So if we did see price come back down here and actually look to swing fail this low, I'd be on the lookout for the potential to move back into the 786 and then see if we actually get a reaction back to the upside. Obviously, if we do look for that flat correction, we could actually look to break down deeper here, and that could actually bring us down past this low here. So we're going to have to just be aware that, you know, at the moment, we need to just be cautious. If we do start to form bigger, you know, bearish moves to the downside, we could actually see something along these lines here. So looking at this move here, what I'm looking for effectively is that this structure is either A, B, C, in which case we could see a move down to this 30,079. So this would be looking at this as a diagonal WXY for a B, and then looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on this. This 1-to-1 is here at this 30,079. Like I said, if however we start to break down much deeper here and we actually hit this target here of this 29,497, what we could actually see is price could actually have an additional fourth wave here and a fifth wave, which would bring us into this level here of this 29,362 to this 29,145. Now, the key thing within this, just like the idea of the one to the upside, is that if this is A, B, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, this could actually align with this being a flat correction here, which could mean that we could still see impulsive moves to the upside. So we need to just be on the lookout for this. It's going to be a key zone to keep an eye on here if we do move down into some of these levels. So we're actually going to go over some of the CPR lines now, and we're going to go onto the daily first. So on the daily pivot points, we can see that the central one is directly below us here at this 32,526. So I want to see if we actually find support on this, and whether we actually look to continue to push to the upside. If we do look to push to the upside, we have the S2 here at this 31,075, S3 here at this 31,353, S4 here at this level of this 31,624. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on those levels. Alternatively, moving to the downside here, if we lose these central lines here, we have the potential to come down towards this 30,252. This could be an interesting area because of the potential of swing failing this low here. Alternatively, lower down here, we have the R2 at this 29,971. We have the R3 at the 29,702. And then lower down here, we have this 29,429. So this would align potentially with actually getting a bigger 5-wave move to the downside. If we start to develop an impulsive structure down here, we could look to actually target out this R4. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. And as we talked about in the previous video here, on the weekly, we do have this level down here, which is sitting towards this 29,226. So this would be our S3 line rather. If we do see price come back down into this zone, I'd be very interested to see how we react off of this level. Now, it could always be that this becomes something like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get a 3-wave move back up, and then we actually look to break down in a bigger way after that. Or alternatively, what we could actually see is, price just forms this corrective move to the downside here, and then we look to reverse back to the upside. So these will obviously be having new lines printed as of tomorrow morning, so we'll have to keep an eye on them the next week and see what they are showing us. Now, on the monthly, once again, in this zone, we do have the S1 line, which is sitting towards this 29,415. So I would be keeping an eye on this level if we do see price come back down into these lower zones. Alternatively, if we do look to push directly to the upside here, we do have this 31,616 level directly above us, and this level here of this 33,419 that I would be keeping an eye on as potential targets. Now, I just want to come over here onto the weekly and talk about the Ichimoku cloud. So we've been discussing this for a while, this potential to come back up into this weekly cloud. So we have had an interaction with this. And now what I want to see here is if we do start to break to the downside here, we actually look to retrace deeper. We actually have the baseline, this area here of this 27,893. And then lower down, we have this conversion line, which is sitting towards this 25,530 region. So what I want to see here is, if this is potentially looking at this move as a completed structure here, what we could see is price get gravitated back to the downside here. Although we need to be aware there is always the potential we could see one more push to the upside here before looking for something like this to play out if we are looking for that extension within the waves. So we've had an interaction here. Now I want to see what happens. If we manage to hold this baseline and this conversion line, this would be a good sign. This would potentially mean that we're going to actually move into the cloud and look to interact with some higher levels here. Top of the cloud is currently sitting towards this zone of this 39,546. So I'd be interested to see if we do actually push up into these zones, how we react off those levels. Alternatively, we could start to fall away. Now, if we start to fall away here, what I'd be looking for is a couple of things here. On the daily, what we have is the baseline sitting here at this 28,131. And then we have the top of this cloud towards this 27,768. and then lower down here towards this 27,528 level. Alternatively, if we do look to actually have a deeper retracement here, what we could see is price actually come back into this bottom of the cloud, which is sitting here at this 25,300. So I'd be keeping an eye on that level. You know, if we do see a deeper retracement, top of the cloud is aligning with the idea of actually coming into this channel. So just another bit of confluence with that. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.